Hello, guys. Hello, everybody. Hi. We are back. We're back with another video series. This is different from what we've been doing so far, and we've called this Sports Centric Perspectives. A lot of these experts they were sick of just predicting. They wanted to speak more. So we thought we'll give them this platform and let them speak a little more about cricket. And what better cricket to talk about right now than India Australia? It was not such a great match. The opening match, India Australia. I mean, it started off fantastically. At the midway point, it was poised wonderfully well, and then we had a shocker of a day. India went on to record 36, the lowest Test score ever, and there were so it was a pretty poor performance from Team India. Great start for Australia. They won up. So what we'll do in this particular episode, people, is I've got 8 experts with me. What I'll ask these experts to do is review the performance of both the teams in the previous match, and then I will again go back to them and ask them to preview both the teams' strategies going into the second Test match, which starts from Saturday. All right. So okay, people. So I'll just start, and let me start with an India expert first. Let me start with Vivek. Vivek, so what I would want you to do is basically tell me what are the 3 key takeaways from India's performance in the first Test match. I know there weren't many positives, but there were some positives. So, what were your key takeaways? I mean, what went right, what went wrong? So if you could just review that for us.
Well, I have only the first innings to refer. Can't
Okay.
draw many, can't draw many references. India is under tremendous pressure, by the way, on this video today. Having okay, so having said that, if you'd ask me to take out key 3 positives or 3 takeaways from the first match, uh, one would be that Cheteshwar Pujara got a start. I think is very he's a key player to India's plan in West Australia. Number 3 batsman. He got a good start, scored around 40 odd runs, 43 if I'm not wrong. And if he gets going, I think India will be better off in the second match. Uh, Bowling performances, I think the first innings bowling performances by all 3 bowlers who will be playing, right? And I just wish India doesn't replace Ashwin with Jadeja uh, with with the greediness of having an extra batsman. I don't think so. That should be done. So Ashwin, Bumrah, and Yadav, all 3 were among big wickets. So I think that is also a good start to the series. Uh, Hanuma Vihari looked promising, but I'm not sure if he'll be playing in this match. Uh, but both Hanuma Vihari and Mayank Agarwal scored some runs, right? So yeah, players didn't score a lot of runs, but we could see youngsters getting those starts, and I just hope that they convert those starts into big scores in this match. So these are the 3 takeaways that I have from the first test.
Okay, fantastic. All right, let me take the spotlight away from you and let me put it on an Australia expert. So Vivek was our India expert for today. Let's go to an Australia expert. Let's go to Mayuresh and ask him. What were the key takeaways for Australia? I mean, obviously they won the match. There were a lot of positives for them to take. Were there some negatives also? Let me ask Mayuresh to give his views. Mayuresh.
I think there were negatives. Opening stand is struggling, even though Joe Burns scored a 50 in the second innings. But I think the match was over in the third day, first session. I think first hour. So he scoring that 50 was like, okay, you are chasing 90, you are going to win it. Only positive, the one positive which I think team pin scoring most important runs in the first inning, and I think that actually that keeps him like the captaincy pressure is off. He has scored runs, and now he can voice. Now he has like people were saying he was just a captain because Smith was banned and there was no other candidate. But now he is putting his captaincy saying no, I deserve the captaincy. So that was now, and he is a leader. Now we can see he is leading that Australia pack. Second, bowling unit, fantastic. We all expected Australia to do well, and I think the main was Stark. Normally, when it's a ping ball text, we talked about Michael Stark taking wickets, but I think Cummings and Hazelwood, excellent. I think they had one of the best spells. batting again. I'll not say it's a plus point, but I think somehow other Australia tail are scoring important runs. Whatever the 80 runs they scored in the first inning under that pressure, I think excellent. I think that was the plus point. Negative again, the top order is not firing. Bowling, it works. Sometimes it goes totally flat. I think on day one, the second session, like session two, they were completely flat. I didn't see none of the Australian bowler taking the wicket. Lucky, they got Virat Kohli run out. But that's the, I think, the key away. Sometimes they are going very flat, and it is happening for them. So that are for three, I'll say, negatives for them.
Okay, so very interestingly, you mentioned Tim Paine. That is a factor not often spoken about, but yeah, I think it's a very strong performance. Let me move to my next India expert, Anuradha, and put her on the spotlight and ask her what were the key takeaways for her as far as India's performance was concerned.
Key takeaways, okay. One, that in this format of the game, you cannot rejoice at any point. Okay, but then cricket is like that in all formats, but this format is quite interesting because till the second day we had no idea the game would wrap up on the third, right? So what a high and then what a fall. Okay. And in terms, I mean, what also I felt was that it was not a batter's match. It was definitely a bowler's match. And India's batters, except for Kohli, and Kohli too, I mean, the second innings is nothing to be said about. After 46 years, we did a 36 record. But yeah, besides Kohli, nothing remarkable in terms of batting either. So it was definitely not a batter's match, the last one. This one, though, I mean, I have some different opinion about this one, the second match. But the first match, extreme. It was, I would not say unpredictable, but it kind of gave you an idea of how test matches are. Okay, so yeah, it was interesting, high, and the high that India got on the second day and third day, we just collapsed like anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what happened. Of course, there are absences. There are quite a few absences, and Shami's injury is not good for the team going forward. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about the going forward, obviously, but I think very importantly, what you mentioned, in Test cricket, you cannot be complacent, and that is so right. I mean, that is spot on. You know, the test match cricket is known as Test match cricket because it's a test of your skills over a 5-day period. And you know, India found that in a hard way. Normally, what happens is if you're winning enough sessions in a Test match, you are on top, and India was on top. I mean, going into the the third morning, and I mean, nobody thought that they'll just get blown away. They had won most of the sessions on the first 2 days, so it was quite something to see that, you know, they really got blown away. Anyway, so over to an Australia expert. Let's ask Harsh. Harsh, for you, what were the key takeaways for Australia? We obviously know Mayuresh talked about their bowling. You know, all three fabulous seamers. But what were the key takeaways? Let me ask you. What do you think were the key takeaways?
I think one of the key takeaways would be definitely Tim Paine. He scored 70 odd runs, even if you know, Indian fielders dropped his catch when he was on 22. That was a very expensive drop. Indians missed a lot of catches in the first inning. So yeah, barring that, Tim Paine was one of the game changers. His 70 runs proved very crucial. Otherwise, they were 111 for 7 at one stage. The second option, which is a little different, obviously there is no doubt about you know, Cummins and Hazelwood, or what they have you know, performed in the second innings in the morning. But we should not forget about Nathan Lyon in the first innings. If you see the pitch map that they have shown in you know, one of the, you know, reviews, in 1 square foot area, he was pitching every ball there. You know, and even if the fast bowlers were flat in the second session in the first day, Hazelwood and Stark and Cummins was not producing the wickets, but his, Nathan Lyon was not giving any runs at all. So, and Cheteshwar Pujara was forced to use his feet, and ultimately he went out. So again, Nathan Lyon is the another aspect. And the third aspect is obviously, a good point is the takeaway of captaincy. Now, again, the fielders that he put in for Virat Kohli, especially when Nathan Lyon was bowling, and specifically when even Stark was bowling. At that time, I think to Cheteshwar Pujara and to Kohli, the way he set his field was very good. He was literally choking them for runs. So India went well. They did well in the first innings, but they were not that fluent in their run scoring. On the negative side, yes, the top order is even the middle order is on the weaker side. If Smith and Labuschagne don't perform, Australian batting will fall flat. That's the negative takeaway.
Sure. I think two very important things, right? I mean, normally pink ball test matches, you expect the seamers to do well. The ball zips around, it swings much more than the red ball. But here you had two world-class off spinners on either side performing exceptionally well. You talked about Nathan Lyon, who dried up the runs, and he's known to bowl very well with the pink ball. And then you had Ashwin on the other hand. He bowled so fantastically well. The other point, very interesting, you mentioned the field placements, and especially for Pujara, they had a leg slip, which is not a normal position. I mean, they had a leg slip as a catching position because Pujara scored a lot of runs in the last test series. In fact, Pujara was the thorn in their flesh in the last series. But this time, they also choked the runs, as you rightly said. So I think very rightly so. And they test matches obviously about picking wickets, but also if you choke runs for enough periods of time, you will have somebody like a Virat Kohli getting jittery. He got run out, which was a big turning point. So yeah, a lot of things. Absolutely. Okay, let me move to an India expert. Let's talk to Abhishek and let's hear from him what he thinks were the takeaways, feedback, review, call it whatever you will. Abhishek, what is your take?
I think I feel there are quite a few takeaways for India, and I think barring that, I think Anurag spoke about sessions. Test match is all about sessions, right? And one bad session which India had on the third day morning cost us the game. I mean, otherwise, if you look at India was evenly poised. We bowled out Australia for 191 in the first match. So there's a saying that no failure is an instance, not a person. So collectively we failed at one session, and that costed the game. Quickly, I'll say, I remember 1996. I was about 11 years. India went to South Africa, first test match.
Yeah.
First innings 100, second innings 66, bowled out.
Yeah.
The team had Tendulkar, Dravid, Ganguly, everybody. And it happens. So, and poor Prithvi Shah was the scapegoat for this match. A lot said about it. But for me, the key three takeaways would be, number one, I think both Pujara and Rahane got some runs. They got start. Rahane getting out was more to do with his mind going with Virat Kohli's run out, right? I mean, he went that bad.
Got distracted.
He got distracted, yes. Number two, Ashwin, brilliant. I think Ashwin's game was he was on top of Australia. And third, obviously that the overall bowling of India, while we will miss Shami, but the overall bowling performance of India, getting 191 all out for Australia was a big achievement. So that's for me is a good takeaway. Three key takeaways for this first match.
Okay, I think both you and Vivek talked about you talked about Ashwin as a and you also talked about India's bowling performance overall, but especially Ashwin. I mean, he had Steve Smith in the knots. He actually had him in the knots. I mean, Steve Smith was not reading him off the pitch, off his hand. I mean, it was fabulous bowling. I mean, just watching that bit was Test cricket at its best.
And let's not forget this was a pink ball. I mean, the red ball will spin more, and third day, fourth day, the red ball will have much impact. So spinners will have a bigger impact to have in the second test match.
Sure. Okay. All right. Let me then go to an Australia expert amidst us. So let's talk to Rohan and ask him what did he think about Australia's performance in the first Test match.
I think I do not have to say anything. Australia were outplaying India in every department they were supposed to. For me, the three takeaways are first is of course in the top order of Marnus Labuschagne, because he is also capable of performing pretty good. Although he was also being dropped, I think on 22 by Mayank Agarwal, if I'm not wrong. And he made utilize of the opportunity to the full. And we know he's capable of playing good big innings, as we have seen in the previous Test matches as well.
Yeah.
And I think, and the second is, of course, two Australian experts have already talked about Tim Paine. The amount of maturity he has shown on the field with his bowling changes and his field, and the way he played like what we say an anchor's role. When your team needs you the most, you are there for them, and then you play the anchor sheet role, and then you lead the team from the front. That is how he has shown. And yeah, of course, because the thing is he is not that an old captain for Australia, but yeah, but he has shown some maturity and some nerves of steel on the field. And yes, the final thing is the bowling. I think in the second innings we have seen like uh, it was a cyclone called Josh Hazelwood just like sunk India's ship, and he just he the more intriguing thing is I got remembered of Glenn McGraw. If you all remember that Glenn McGraw used to have pick his one spot, and then he used to bowl consistently. He was such a player that he didn't get bored by bowling at that particular space and at that particular spot. So Josh Hazelwood reminded me of that, and of course he was frugal in giving runs. The last thing, the concern for me for Australia is that their opening partnership. In for Test matches, you need characters like Rahul Dravid and Chiteshwar Pujara in current times, so that they can steady the ship, and they then move ahead. So I'll take this for both teams. I think opening is a big concern for them. So I think for Australia, they need to have a mature opener in the form of David Warner if he plays, and if they get it, I think then they will cruise their ship like anything.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I think the bowling, a lot of experts said, we've heard Sunil Gavaskar talk about the bowling of Australia as, the kind of bowling that will blow away most oppositions on that day. That third morning, the way they bowled, you always knew Pat Cummins is the number one Test bowler,
Yeah.
Mitchell Stark, but Josh Hazelwood, ever since he's, he added more than a couple of yards of pace to his bowling. I mean, he's always been compared with Glenn McGrath, but I
Yeah.
think, he's added 2 or 3 yards to his bowling. He's coming on much quicker, and he's the tallest chap out there, so he gets a lot of bounce and he's swinging the ball. And that is like, I mean, you imagine Glenn McGrath swinging the ball. That is like, it's a nightmare. So,
as the day progresses, the pitches in Australia gets a bit tough to bat up on. So I think these three bowlers, Pat Cummins, Mitchell Stark, and Josh Hazelwood, are lethal for any opposition.
they are absolutely. Okay, thank you so much, Rohan. Let's ask Kriti. Let's move over to her and ask her about India's performance. What does she have to say about what the Indian batters did, what the Indian bowlers did, and so on? Kriti, over to you.
All right then. La 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 la. Okay. So key takeaways. The first one is I'm sorry. First of all, I'm very sorry because I am going to delve into the negatives and not the positives.
Okay, that's fine.
The first test was so horrible कि actually हम नाक कटा के वहाँ पे बैठे हुए हैं. So yeah. So one. The opening pair is really horrible. Rather, let me put it this way: the opening pair is doing a really horrible job right now. So that's what it is. Fielding is also below par, and on top of everything, I think the team is also a little bit confused right now with Virat Kohli being there and then not being there, and Ajinkya Rahane taking over. So I think overall they are, I don't know. Basically, I think they are just lost. They're behaving like headless chickens. They're also playing like headless chickens. So so Harsh is quite amused. Okay.
No, that's okay.
So yeah,
We
that
are
is
all
that
amused
is
by their
my
performance more than you're saying it, you're highlighting it. So please go ahead.
So yeah, that's about it. That is my takeaway from the first match. I think they really need to do something about themselves. Chyawanprash khana hai, kuch bhi khana pina hai. I think they need to do something about it.
No, I think you're absolutely right that they looked a bit lost, especially in the second innings, and they need to get their act together very, very fast. I mean, because there's very little gap between the two tests, and now that Virat Kohli is not there, you've got a new captain. They need to settle down into a good rhythm, and there you will expect two force changes. You will have, Virat Kohli is not there for the second test match. You also have Shami missing. Yes, Vivek.
So for India, we have 3 experts and 1 expert critic.
No, so we will get her preview of the next match. So yeah, we are not. Nobody's going to get away.
No, we are as it is. We are very low and down.
No, we will. I'm sure you're there. The exuberance in you will bring us all, high in spirits. Let's go to Kaushik then. And Kaushik is our Australia expert today. Kaushik, what did you think about Australia's performance in the first Test match? What were the key takeaways for you?
You see, this is one demerit of coming late in the order. Most of the points have already been made. But I think Mayuresh made a very valuable point. This series or any India-Australia series is going to be defined by how the Australian spinners bowl to the Indian batsmen, because the Indian batsmen try to score most of their runs off the spinners, and that is what Tendulkar did when Shane Warne came to India for the first time. He took him off, and the entire Australian team fell off.
Yeah.
So it does not matter who, which batsman is scoring or not. I think it will entirely depend on how Nathan Lyon performs, and he has done well in the last series as well, and he is doing well in this series as well. So I'm very much looking forward for him. That is one takeaway, and we all know Australian pace bowlers will do well in their home conditions. And if you bring the same Australian team to India, I'm sure this is not going to happen. The 36 all out would change to 360, maybe at the loss of 7 or 8 wickets.
It depends if we have a minefield, if we have a spinner's paradise, who knows what will happen.
That is what we have been doing, right? We have even in 2001 series, we started off playing at Chennai, and then we brought them to.
The first test was in Mumbai. We lost the first
Mumbai?
test. Mumbai, Kolkata, and then Chennai. The third test was in Chennai.
So Chennai is the final nail in the coffin. So you see, when you talk about takeaway, I think the biggest takeaway is Rohit Sharma is not playing. My bowlers are not bowling to an attacking opening pair, so the new ball becomes very difficult to handle for the opponent. When someone like a Rohit Sharma or a Virendra Sehwag is playing, the entire game plan changes. You have to set defensive field within the next 15 or 20 or maybe 10-15 overs. So that is something that I am not having to do. That's a very huge positive point for my team. It feels a bit weird when I say talk about Australia and I say my team, but anyways. The second thing is Mohammad Shami is not playing, so he is a kind of bowler who is very good with the old ball.
But we need to talk about people who played in the first match and the performance of the Indian players in the first match. Obviously, Shami did play the first match. I mean, not the second innings, of course. But so what I wanted to understand more from you, Kaushik, is to Australia's performance, in the first match. What were the key takeaways from their performance?
So yeah, the first point, as I said, the opening pair of the Indian team is not good enough. So that is one takeaway for us, that the Australian bowlers will bowl with more attacking field. That is one takeaway. Second is Nathan Lyon, the way he is bowling. He's I'm not sure Australia will ever make him a captain, but for me he looks like a captaincy material.
Wow.
Tim Paine. again, Mayuresh has already said that he is looking good. He has performed well in the last Australia series as well. So I think that is another takeaway. The fast bowlers, as I said, they will do well in the Australian conditions. That is taken for granted, isn't it? So these are the takeaways I would say. And when I spoke about Mohammad Shami, I was talking about the upcoming match. Uh, with the old ball, he is very lethal, and especially when it comes to the red ball, it behaves differently. The reverse swing factor does not work too well with the pink ball, but the red ball will have some reverse swing as well.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
he is not playing. That's a positive side for Australia. Other than that, Virat Kohli is not playing. So again,
we'll talk about the upcoming match definitely, and we'll put you on the spot, Kaushik. Let me. So this round, we've obviously reviewed the performance in the first.
There is one more.
Yes,
there is one more point that I would like to make is that they are not playing Usman Khawaja, and I was going through his stats. He scores at 40 runs. He averages at 40 per match. So I think, going by the current situation, that they don't have a balanced opening pair. Their favored opening batsman is not there. So I think they should include Usman Khawaja in the team just to give that solidity in the up maybe a middle order.
Sure. I understand. I hear you. In fact, they've been beset with injuries, Australia themselves. I mean, so many injuries. I mean, it's just it's almost like a pandemic, in Australian cricket that they talked about. All right, people. Thank you so much for the review.
Swapnil.
Yes.
Sorry, I just wanted to highlight one thing. I think I heard. I think from India perspective, I think I'm even Australia, but I think one thing which I have been, let's say, following from the overseas tour, I think India has got a psychological barrier for the third innings of the test. And when it comes to a very close match where the first and the second innings, both the teams are very neck to neck. India, when it comes to the foreign tours, have screwed up in the third innings. I don't know what are the selectors or the captains and the team management are doing. But I think for last 3-4 series, if I pick up the England series, or I pick up the South Africa series before that, or I pick up the New Zealand series, India, whenever they, after the first two innings, if they are in a, I'll say, better position, India has invariably screwed up. I don't know what they are doing. It's a psychological barrier. I'll say it started with 2018 series of Edgbaston, when India actually took the lead. And I think England were 86 for 7. And then
Sam Curran. Yeah, the Sam Curran test. Yeah, we all remember.
Yeah, same story was repeated in Southampton. I think first two innings were same. Again, we allowed them to score too many runs. We go back to South Africa. Same thing happened in the second test match. New Zealand, I think people talked about the collapse. The collapse happened once in a while. But I think this collapse, it was coming and people knew this was happening. I think we talked about the last series of India-Australia. But people do remember in Melbourne, I think we had a bigger lead. We had a lead. India were 42 for 5 in that stage. And I think it was same Pat Cummins who had taken 6 wickets. Luckily, India had a huge first innings lead. We went on to win the match and the series. But I think this is a psychological barrier or something. India, when it comes in the very crucial third innings on the overseas tours, India are like... what I can say, they are just losing it completely.
This is the same thing that I think Anuradha mentioned, that we can't become complacent, and time and again we are guilty of doing that.
I don't know. It's a complacent, or I don't know, but I think it's a something psychological barrier. I don't think so. It's complacent. The way they batted, I thought when they batted on the day 2, I thought we were behind by Australia were leading us by 150 runs. It was a fear thing. I think same thing happened in New Zealand. I think it was Wellington. India had a lead. You had to go and get just about 200. What you did was you got only 125 runs, man. I think this is something they need to take. And I think again, I don't know, but I think Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri, I don't know what they are thinking. I think my suggestion
We'll
was
talk
why
about the
did-
team management, Mahesh.
Huh.
Absolutely, we'll have a complete session on the team management.
So I'll just quickly add. I mean, I think Mayuresh spoke about the selection. I think the just about an hour back, the new selection committee is all pace attack. Chetan Sharma, Abe Kuruvilla, and Debashish Mohanty. They are the three chief selectors for India. So I mean,
let's hope they select well. So you know what? So what I'll do is, the next session, the next part of this particular conversation, we will try to preview, the second test match, and basically talk to these experts, talk to you all about what are the three key strategic plays getting into the second test match. Let's start with Kriti, our India expert. She's put on her specs, so I'm assuming we have we'll hear a lot more from her. So Kriti, it's very straightforward, simple question. You are the India expert. You are the team management now. What are the three strategic things you will do to win this second match and come back into the series?
And you want three key strategic things?
Well, I love three. Yeah, totally.
Okay. All right then. So yes, I put on specs for a reason, because I know that I'm going to sound like that very strict school teacher or college teacher, basically teacher.
Yeah.
So point number one, we need to make changes. Sorry, मैं चश्मा लगा के आँखों में कष्ट हो रहा है. I'm not very used to wearing specs. So yeah, I've done the facade and now I'm taking it off.
Yeah.
Anyway, so one, we absolutely need to make changes in the playing 11, because clearly Ishant Sharma and Shami are both injured right now, and we are in a mess. Our opening pair, like I said, is doing a really wonderful job at being horrible, and we need to do something about it. So yes, bye Prithvi Shaw. We need to get KL Rahul. Basically, we need to get KL Rahul in the higher up ordering, or basically higher ordering batting order, so that we at least have some chance. If not completely winning, कम से कम 36 पे नहीं all out होंगे.
360 बनाना है, 360.
Right, benchmark जो है वो एकदम नीचे ना पाताल में घुस गया है.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, see, a back opening pair, absolutely.
Correct. So, secondly, I think we need to replace Vihari with Pant, because Pant has a better average, and we need to probably look at playing with 4 seamers and 1 spinner.
Wow, so it's a very, very aggressive game plan, Kriti. I'm sure. I think, yeah, I think desperate times call for desperate measures. So that is what it is. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So far, I have always been, and I am still of the opinion कि cricket है, sport है. मतलब जानलेवा होने की जरूरत नहीं है. ऐसे नहीं कि players आ रहे हैं लौट के तो उनको पत्थर मारो या जूते की माला पहनाओ, stuff like that. Don't do that. वो बहुत ही गिरी हुई
talk about the 90s.
वो दिन हवा है, वो दिन
चलेगा.
वो दिन हवा.
लग रहा है कि जीतने की उम्मीद है.
हाँ, 2007 कृति की बातों से तो I think your mood is uplifted then, Vivek.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy now that yes, back to 4.
The point is कम से कम ऐसा तो खेलो कि लगे कि हाँ भाई, मतलब come on, they're given a lot of funding. They are given a lot of funding as compared to other sports. कम से कम कुछ तो इज्जत रखने का होता है ना.
I'm sure. I think so. What I mean, you're talking about desperate times, but obviously, times are not that desperate for Australia. Let's talk to an Australia expert now. Let's talk to Harsh and ask him, what do you think, Harsh? What will be the key strategic plays for the Australian team management getting into this match?
I think including the opening pair, Usman Khwaja, that should be the one. I totally agree with that point of view. Other than that, I think they don't need to change anything. They are doing pretty well. I think the other maybe they need to improve their fielding a little bit as their the other takeaway. But as far as selection is concerned, they should stay with the same team. Other than just one thing that they can include Usman Khwaja, that would be a value add to them. But on the other side, Smith getting out of Ashwin was a bit surprising that he was reading off the pitch. I think he has to read him. And the other thing is Australia should not go into a comfort zone, or they should not feel the complacent, because we have performed badly. We were 36 all out. That's okay, but that doesn't mean that we cannot come back. So So they should not be feeling complacent about, first test match win and now Indians can't do anything. No, they will come back hard.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's hop over. I mean, to Abhishek, who is our India expert today, and let's ask him. Obviously, so there is, from Harsh's tone, you can see that there is a calm assurance about Australia. Yes, we just need to do the right things and we'll be good. What do you think, Abhishek? India in a desperate situation. What do you think they need
lot to catch up, and I feel I don't know how much would have the Virat Kohli and Shastri partnership would have done. I'm hoping Rahane with his leadership will add some spark. I'm looking at a lot of changes, so I'll quickly tell you the playing 11 that I'm expecting.
Okay.
That I would want to have. I would want Shubman Gill and Mayank Agarwal to open. Pujara at 3, Rahul at 4, Rahane at 5, Ravindra Jadeja come in for Hanuma Vihari, and I want Rishabh Pant to come and replace Saha. And then I have the 4 bowlers who are Ravichandran Ashwin, Umesh Yadav, Navdeep Saini, and Jasprit Bumrah. Then what happens is I have 5 bowlers, so 4 regular plus Jadeja. So I have 5 bowlers. Plus, I have a deeper batting order to finish.
Okay.
That's about so.
So that's your batting. So that's
my combination. So what happens is Rahul coming in at 4 in place of, that's a force change. Saini coming in for Shami, it's a force change. I feel we need to get Jadeja in because he's a handy batsman and can bowl 25-30 overs at tandem and a left arm, in place of Hanuma Vihari. So and obviously, and I saw the both Pujara and as I said, Pujara and Rahane got starts. Pujara played about 160 balls. That's good amount of ball. He stayed in the crease. So I'm hoping, and MCG is a bigger ground. There'll be a lot of 3 runs. There'll be a lot of 4 runs running for the players. So but that's about me. I think India has a lot to catch up in the second test.
Okay.
I might sound obnoxious, but I feel India will bounce back.
No, I think India needs to. Otherwise, the series is a washout already. But I like your changes, to be honest, Abhishek. I do like your changes because Rahul, I don't know why suddenly he's been left out of contention completely. I mean, he's not played in any of the tour matches. He's not in contention. I find that very surprising. I mean, Rahul is a proper opener. You have to open with Rahul, or if you're not opening with him, you're opening with Shubman Gill. Then you get him at number 4, number 5. I don't know if Hanuma Vihari has done nothing wrong, so that'll be cruel on him.
Just to bring another bowler.
I agree. I think it'll be cruel for him, but then sometimes some changes have to be done to win. I mean, it's a desperate time, as we said. Anyway, so interesting ones, Abhishek. You want to put your foot down on the accelerator? Yes, Kaushik. You want to?
I have a question for Abhishek. It's very interesting, the changes that he spoke about, and I completely agree that we need to change the setup. I just wanted to know the thought process behind having Shubman Gill open instead of KL Rahul. Why does he think so?
I'm looking purely at the tour matches that happened, and that purely from the tour matches he played. Rahul was not a part, and he coming in. I remember, everybody spoke about Rohit Sharma. I remember Sehwag flying down all the way to England and get a pair. And I fear that doesn't happen to Rohit Sharma in the 3rd test match when he plays in Sydney. So purely from the nerves, if Rahul is playing, let him come at 5. Even I'm hoping Rahane would come at 4 and have Rahul at 5. Have enough, let the ball get old, and he plays that. That's about it. My only thing is either between Pant or Saha, whoever plays, both has not done wrong, but Pant more from a psychological mindset. What happened in the last series with that.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Abhishek. Let's hop over to our Australia expert in Mayuresh and ask him as to what he thinks. What does Australia need to do? As Harsh said, they don't need to do a lot. I mean, there's a calm, assured Harsh that we spoke to. What do you think, Mayuresh? What do they need to do?
I think the first thing as Australia, I think they need to tell Matthew Wade that whatever happens, I think I know David Warner is not going to play the Melbourne Test. So I don't expect any changes in the playing 11 for Australia. But if I am the captain, I'll tell Matthew Wade that your job is to go and attack the Indian fast bowler apart from Bumrah. Either Sani or Siraj will make a debut, and then there is a Umesh Yadav. So I'll say attack them. If you attack them and if you score runs, wonderful. India is already under the pressure. You are going to put them under more pressure because you have two fast bowler doesn't get your wickets. The third fast bowler and the spinner is not going to be effective. Other thing is other job which I'll tell for the Australian bowlers is that take out Pujara and Rahane from the side. If you get these guys cheaply, I expect another collapse, which is below 100. I actually don't see Indian batting lineup standing up to the this Australian fast bowler if Pujara and Rahane don't stuck around. And that was evident. One inning they failed, the Indian batting collapsed. So that's the thing. And my third takeaway, I think somebody apart from, I think I am expecting something from Cameron Green. I think he is some all-rounder. And I think I'm expecting something from him more from a batting perspective.
Okay. Mayuresh, I mean, for a while I was wondering who's talking. Is it Mayuresh or is it some Marsh? Is it Sean Marsh or a Mitchell Marsh or a Jeff Marsh? I mean, he's completely in Australia's shoes. He's just completely taken over that role. Jaise hum log bolte movies mein, he's got into the character, man. All right, Mayuresh. I mean, the Wade point, I hope Langer is not listening to this because he may take a liking to this one. Okay, thank you so much, Mayuresh. Let's move to our India expert, Anuradha, and ask her what does she think, in terms of the strategic plays that India have to do. I'm sure there are a lot. Anuradha, over to you.
I want to show you guys something which you can't see, but this thing I wrote before we started talking.
Okay.
This is my team 11 for the next test. And guess what? Abhishek has read my mind. Okay. Except that he chose almost the same team as me, except that his replacements were a little different. Oh no, was it Kriti's? Anyway, I'm a little, but yeah, Abhishek's team was pretty much mine. I think it was the same team, except for, did he say Saini?
He said Saini.
Saini. So I have Siraj instead. Okay, so I think that's the only change. But anyway, let me tell you, you said 3 things, right? I'm gonna say 4. Okay. 1, पृथ्वी शॉ को हटा दें और शुभमन गिल को ले आए, ठीक है, मयंक अग्रवाल के साथ ओपनिंग पार्टनरशिप के लिए. 2, प्लीज राहुल को ले आए. हाँ, ऐसा नहीं है कि राहुल is a replacement for Kohli. That's not the case. But we need a good, confident batter.
We know very well.
Yeah, I knew Vivek would say something. But anyway, we need a confident batter on the ground, even though Rahul is not a test cricketer, but we need a confident batter on the ground, and that's Rahul. Pujara and Rahane should be around, must be around, absolutely. Rahane ko to rehna hi hai, but Pujara should also be around. I mean, in my team, Pujara is there. Saha को स्पेशलिस्ट विकेट कीपर लाया गया था. दैट वाज कोहलीज डिसीजन टू ब्रिंग साहा एज द स्पेशलिस्ट विकेट कीपर. स्पेशलिस्ट थोड़ा कम स्पेशलिस्ट करके पंत को ले आते हैं, ठीक है. सो आई सेड 3. आई सेड शुभमन गिल, राहुल, पंत. ओके, एंड माय 4th is, which is what Abhishek also said, is getting Jadeja in. Okay, I think on this ground we also need a good spinner. Okay. And getting Jadeja in helps in 2 ways. I mean, I'm not too sure, to be honest, I'm not too sure if he's really recovered from that hamstring injury, but I'm hoping.
Also the concussion. Yeah, I think. Yeah, you're right.
So I'm not too sure कि वो health conditions का क्या scene है, but I think bringing Jadeja in gives us some confidence because we need someone alongside Ashwin. I mean, Ashwin is going to do very well. I'm hoping for that. So I think getting Jadeja in is a good idea. Of course, Bumrah pe bahut stress hai. Shami is not there, but Umesh Yadav is good. एंड शमी के बदले अगर हम किसी को ला रहे हैं तो सिराज या सैनी को लाना है. उन दोनों में मुझे टू बी ऑनेस्ट अभी एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम आई डोंट हैव अ वेरी बिग ये, सो सिराज इज ओके फॉर मी. So that's the thing. Hanuma Vihari has done nothing wrong, but in order to bring Jadeja in, he must go.
Okay, very interesting. I think so. The moment I mean, everybody said Shubman Gill should play. Obviously,
Shubman Gill, yeah, exactly. So Abhishek, Kaushik's question was right. कि राहुल को क्यों नहीं वहाँ पे opening में? But that's the thing. It's about the experience bit.
Yeah. Also, I think so. Everybody said that Shubman Gill should play. The implied, the implied meaning was that Prithvi Shaw won't play. But the moment you said no, Prithvi Shaw has to be dropped, I could see Vivek's face, and I don't think he was very happy. We'll ask Vivek about Prithvi Shaw and his feelings for Prithvi Shaw. But before we do that, let's ask our.
No. Thank you for asking Vivek about his feelings for someone, at least. Huh? Let's get his feelings for people out, please.
Yeah, but let me hop over to our Australia expert Kaushik and ask him as to what will he do if he was the Australian team management? How would you maintain your lead in this series, or how would you at least hold India off to a draw? This is an important test match. So what do you think, Kaushik? What would you do as an Australian team management?
If I was Justin Langer, I would have said only one word to the Australian team, is that be very cautious. Don't go overboard. This Indian team is not the team of 80s or 90s. They are going to come back hard, and we have not scored too many runs, to be honest. We have won the test match on basis of our bowling performance, not on basis of batting performance. So that's one thing.
Thank God you did not say Khadu's khel. I thought you would emulate Ravi Shastri, but that's fine.
Second thing is, I'm not too keen on having Virat Kohli as a test captain. So, I would rather like to have Ajinkya Rahane as the captain, or Rohit Sharma as the test captain. Anyways, I'm supporting Australia as of now on the call. So let's talk about Australia. That the second thing that I would do as a maybe if I am in place of Justin Langer, is that I would play Usman Khwaja just to strengthen the batting. The rest of the things have already fallen in place, so I would not change too much. Anyways, I don't believe in changing the winning combination. So these are the only two things that I would do before the next test.
You're on mute.
Sorry.
That's the most said word in 2020.
You're on mute. Yeah, it has to be most said phrase. So no, what I was saying is
most said phrase. Yeah.
Yeah, just two options. Although you had three, Kaushik, which means that Australia is very settled. Very little needs to be done for them to maintain their stranglehold. But I'm sure Vivek, who's adding fuel, refueling while we were chatting. He will have a lot to say. He for sure hopes that India makes a strong comeback. So Vivek, let's put in the shoes of Ravi Shastri and Ajinkya Rahane for this match. And let's ask you, what would you do? What are your key strategic plays getting into this match from India's perspective?
Thank you for putting me into shoes of a player, right? And not a critic or an expert, because I've been a player for a long time. I've played cricket with all my heart. So the irony of the current situation in cricket is that we expect 300 plus scores in ODIs, and we think 350 plus score in Test is good. So that's the irony. I think we need to get into a situation wherein we start thinking that if we don't score 400 or more or 500 or more in Test cricket, we are not safe. And that kind of propels me to select my playing 11 today, and I'll talk about it. The other thing that we Indians, I always feel that we write players very easily, write players off very easily, right? I'm a fan of Prithvi Shaw. I like youngsters, and I like that the Indian selectors gave youngster a chance, and I really want him to do good because he was selected at a very young age. Not only him, Shubman Gill and everybody, right? I like that youngsters come into picture. But Prithvi Shaw has some real problems. I think he should go back to NCA, work on his technique and get back. I think that's one area where he leaves the gap. I think that's haunting him. He should be dropped. Okay, he should be dropped, and he should be given some time to go back.
I did not see that coming, to be honest.
Yeah, he should be dropped. I think it's high time.
I think more to NCA, he should be going to the domestic circuit and making some runs and then come back.
No,
not Rohan exactly.
I think he's made enough runs in the domestic.
He's made enough runs. I think go to NCA. There is some technical flaw.
Yeah, technical issue which Rahul Dravid. I think Vivek is absolutely.
Rahul Dravid, Sachin Tendulkar, everybody. I think the problem with this guy is that when he lifts his bat, I think the problem is with his back lift. It goes towards the gully region, right? And I'm not sure if you read the article by Lalchand Rajput. I think he was spot on, right? So I think he should go back to NCA, work on his technique and come back. And that's one aspect is haunting. Other than that, I think he's a fabulous player. So Rahul should come in. Yeah, Rahul should come in for Prithvi and he should open with Mayank. Two reasons for it. Great combination in IPL. Rahul and Mayank both knows each other's style. I think they will complement each other. Plus, if India bats first in MCG, they need players who likes the ball to come onto the bat because, MCG will offer some bounce. MCG will offer a lot for the bowlers in the first session, right? And even if India bats second in the MCG, that also the pitch gets a little flatter. So in both the conditions, I think Mayank and Rahul will make a great combination. So Rahul should come in for Mayank. Second most contentious and good that I came last this time. It was Rishabh Pant and Riddhi, right? Guys, I'm not a big fan of Rishabh, to be very honest. I think he should be dropped in ODIs and T20 both. And Ishan Kishan for him. Yeah. See, look, I mean, Rishabh Pant can be a fiery player, but he's not a test material at all. I think he's overrated and got to do with Virat and Ravi Shastri being together. The Delhi lobby. I'll be very honest.
I thought Ravi Shastri was from Mumbai, right?
But that's fine. I mean, that's fine. I mean, see, Riddhiman Shah should not be dropped. I think Melbourne is going to test a keeper's capability also. We are playing, I'll say, 3 fast bowlers, and that brings into my third change. Siraj, Yadav, and Bumrah. We need a good wicket keeper. We need a wicket keeper who can bat and who can bat well, who can hold the innings for a long time, and that Riddhiman Shah can do. Right? He still has a lot of cricket left in him. I think he should not be dropped. And if Indian team drops Riddhiman Shah for the sake of playing a youngster who can hit ball out of the park, 1 or 2 matches, yes, but Pant can fire, but Riddhiman should be given in a chance. So Riddhiman Shah should retain. Rishabh Pant should not come in. Pujara and all looks good. I think the one player to watch out for in this match would be Rahane. Last match, if you guys remember it at MCG, Rahane and Virat Kohli saved the match for India. Great partnership. He scored 150 odd runs. I think Rahane will be a key player, captaincy material. He got an opportunity for the next 3 tests. I think he will come out really well. Okay, so Rahane, I really have high hopes on Rahane. More than Pujara, I'm looking up to Rahane in this match. The other factor would be between Ashwin and Jadeja. I think we should play both. Like Anuradha said, nothing. I don't want to take anything away from the poor boy Hanuma Bihari. I think he's done well. But I felt in the last match, though India did well with bowling, it was the batting who failed. But I also felt that in Australia, you're playing just 4 bowlers. Yeah, the matches can go really long. So I think India should play one genuine all-rounder, which is Jadeja, and one partial all-rounder, which is Ashwin. I think he can bat. So Ashwin and Jadeja both should play along with Umesh Yadav, Siraj, Mohammad Siraj, as well as this guy Jasprit Bumrah. And then we should have Rahul, Mayank open, coming in with Pujara, and then Gill at number 4, going in with Rahane, and then Riddhi, and then Jadeja and henceforth. So that's my view on the complete match, the second match.
Okay, Vivek, I think you're right about one thing. We do tend to write off youngsters very, very soon. So that is something that's a point well made. And also, I think Riddhiman Saha, while we all get excited by Rishabh Pant, there is some work that Rishabh needs to do, but that is besides the point, to be honest. The thing is, Wriddhiman Saha is also a very good batsman. Let's not forget that. I mean, and in test matches, you don't always need to score, very quick runs. I mean, in fact, we've seen that many a times. If you score extremely quickly, you are not batting time. You are not taking away that time to, in fact, you remember the MCG test match where Virendra Sehwag scored 195, right? One day, right? And India lost that test match. We scored fabulously well. We scored so quickly that what happens is, one batter getting on a high, you score so quickly, you don't bat time then. And if you're not batting time, the opposition has the time to also get back. So I think it's also about batting time. Wriddhiman Saha is a good batsman. Yes, Vivek.
And I pity reviewers. I was reading a lot of articles on the second match. I mean, the only point that they made about Rishabh was that, Rishabh can hit a couple of runs around the park. He can bat a little aggressively.
Yeah, but that's not
Test cricket.
Yeah,
it's not Test cricket. Come on, you need somebody who can hold the innings. MCG has been a tough ground. India has lost 8 out of 12 matches there.
Yeah.
I mean, most of them have been drawn, right? So it's a tough ground, and I'm sure players will. I mean, as a player, you always approach a match with a very positive mindset, and that's the way we play. Because if we harp on past laurels or past failures, then we will not be able to play a match, right? So I'm not sure if players watch those. I'm sure that they don't watch these commentaries or cricket critics saying something about them. But I think that's the expectation that reviewers have. I mean, come on, we are talking about Test cricket. It's not one-day or T20 internationals. We don't want Rishabh. We want somebody who can hold the innings together. We want somebody who has that patience, composure to wear that bowling out.
At that position, you can either be Gilchrist or someone else, because he was the player who can.
Everybody wants the Gilchrist.
No, Gilchrist,
right?
Because Sangakkara.
Gilchrist was a once in a generation. I think. Once in 2 generations, I would say. I think Gilchrist.
So either is the Gilchrist
who was so good with the gloves.
Yeah.
I mean, Gilchrist was exceptionally good behind the stumps also. Yeah. He was not as if he was just very good at. And then at number 6, he could change matches. Now, I don't think Rishabh Pant has obviously batted well in test matches. But if you see, a lot of his quick runs have come in the third innings when India is looking to declare, or when the match is meandering towards a draw and he has to score. I think I think if you look at that, you scored a lot of runs in such situations also. So we should not forget that. Of course, Rishabh Pant is a very good batsman. I rate him, in fact, very highly in T20s and one days. He's not got clicking. That's a different matter. But I think for now, I wouldn't mind Wriddhiman Saha to continue. All right, thank you, Vivek. Let me move to the last expert. I mean, not the last. I'm sure not the least for sure. Let's talk to Rohan, who's our Australia expert, and I want Rohan to put himself in the shoes of Tim Paine, in the shoes of Justin Langer, even Steve Smith, and tell us, what does he think? What does Australia need to do to hold on to this lead or even consolidate it?
Yeah. So the first and foremost thing I would like to win as a captain is the toss, because I'll purely go by the stats. I think the average first inning score is 312, and we all know that Australia is much more capable than that 312 score. They can score if their top batsmen are in top form, and then they can just score heavily. And so as the pitch, and they have an advantage as the average second inning score is 311, third inning 254, and fourth inning is 173. So as we progress, the scores are just declining. So this says that pitch on MCG is not behaving is behaving in favor of the bowlers. The next thing is that I was a bit worried about Steve Smith's form, where he didn't score well in the previous game. But again purely to the stats. In 7 Boxing Day tests, he has scored around 908 runs at an average of 113.50, which means if वो कहेगा कि Wade का Green का सबका बदला लेगा रे तेरा Smith, he can he's such kind of player. So I think and the last thing is I think the bowling. Obviously, if they bowl at the right spot and the right areas, I think Indian players are not as we saw in the second innings of the previous game, they were not even close to playing any good deliveries. So those 3 key strategic plays for me, for Australia.
Okay. Okay. All right. So thank you so much, Rohan. I think very importantly, you mentioned about Steve Smith's record in Melbourne, and that is Bradman-esque, as they say. I mean, it's just ridiculously good in Melbourne, and I don't expect Steve Smith to fail again. He's that good
Great
a player.
players don't. Great
They
players
don't, they
don't.
would not. And he's far too good a player to miss out on 3 occasions, and you don't even have a Neil Wagner to contend with. Anyway.
No, Smith fail होगा तो इंडिया पे थोड़ा रहम होगा, नहीं तो कुछ नहीं होगा.
Absolutely, I completely agree. In fact, रहम हो गया था last match में. I mean, when he got out cheaply and we could not capitalize. But thank you so much, people. It was wonderful having you all here. Of course, few of our experts had to go, but we had a fabulous time discussing cricket. We love discussing cricket, and this was one of a session where we could pick your brains, understand what goes on inside your brain when we talk about strategy in a match. So thank you, and let's hope we will connect to review the performance of the second test match. So watch out, people. Thank you, whoever has been watching. It was fabulous having you all here. Bye bye.